everyone, and welcome to my reading vlog for Skulduggery Pleasant, A Soul Full of Shadows. The latest Skulduggery book has just arrived at my door, so today I'm going to be taking you with me while I read this book, and to say the least, I am scared of this one because, one, Derek Landy hasn't actually said if there's going to be another book after this one. He's deliberately held that information back as to whether or not we're getting another one, and that scares me quite a lot. Also, Derek Landy is known for killing characters, so I'm very scared of what he's going to do in this one, and also everything went wrong in the last book. So to recap, and obviously spoilers, and there will be spoilers for this book throughout this vlog as well, so if you are someone who does not want spoilers for this series or anything else, like this video and come back to it later after you've read this book and the rest of the series obviously. But in the last book, Valkyrie killed a mortal and has now ended up in prison. We've also got the fact that Fletcher's dead and Maya Sotis is dead. We've also got people being resurrected and going around as serial killers now for a devil-like character. And also we've got Winter is now going to be fighting the child of the ancients. And so many other things are going on. So I'm very scared as to how this is going to end and what's going to happen in this book. I'm so scared. I think this is actually the most scared I've ever been of a Skulduggery book since Until the End, which was potentially the final book in the series. And now that this may be the final book, I am also very, very scared. I'm hoping it's not going to be though. Just because, well, I just don't want the series to end, but also Derek Landy has been setting up the gods, and specifically he's been mentioning a lot of gods over the last few books, as well as Skulduggery's dad, who is the god Gog Magog, and I don't see him setting all of that up and not doing anything with it, so I am hoping this isn't the end. But I'm scared that it is, so I'm very scared that this is the final book and that he's going to kill a bunch of characters, but we shall see. I don't really have any kind of theories or anything else going into this book, to be honest. I'm just going to go into it and see what happens, so let's get into it. I'm now just yakking to basically put it off because I'm so scared, and I think I've said that 4 or 5 times throughout these vlogs over the years, so I'm just going to rip the plaster off, which I think I've also said in these vlogs before, and get on with reading it, so let's open it up and see what happens. I am preparing for heartbreak, so let's see. So I've just finished chapter 1, and it turns out Ghastly and Tanith were nearly killed, but it was more of a plan to try and get Skulduggery, so then somebody could kill Skulduggery, and Skulduggery thinks it's basically the devil, or rather Kahan. I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing that wrong. And then he's basically complaining that Valkyrie is not also on this guy's hit list, and instead it's just Skulduggery, and he's like, but Valkyrie did more in terms of like travelling through time and foiling his plans and all the rest of it. Why the hell am I the one who's getting more targeted than she is, and why is she seemingly a part of his plans? And basically like Ghastly has just gone, you are an odd man, because you are complaining that the devil basically wants to kill you more. And that just, I mean, that just sums up Skulduggery in a sentence, to be honest. It just completely sums him up. But anyway, I am 1 chapter in so far. We've already had like a lot of action. We've already had the sparrows fly south for the winter bit, and a whole load of like conspiracy stuff already starting in terms of people wanting to kill Skulduggery, everything else. So very good start. Still just as scared as I was, won't lie, because obviously if someone is after Skulduggery and that person is the devil, very worried about that, to say the least, but we'll see what happens. But good start, very, very good start in that first chapter, as always. So we've just had an update as well on Valkyrie, and Valkyrie is obviously in Cold Heart, and she's being treated better than most of the other, or actually all of the other like people who are in this prison, just because she's having to be kept away from everybody else, so she's got her own cell and everything else. And because Cadaver is a future version of Skulduggery, he still cares about Valkyrie, so he's making sure that she's getting good food and she's being treated right, and she's getting good gym time and everything else. But this whole chapter was taking place from Winter's point of view, and Winter's hatred of humans is still loud and clear, and her hatred of Valkyrie as well is so interesting in this, because we know that Winter does have that evil in her. My camera battery's flashing, so I'm gonna have to quickly change that in a minute. But we know that Winter hates humans because of what they did to her when it was in the other timeline, when humans found out about sorcerers and everything else. We know what happened there. We also know, obviously, that she has got a bad side to her anyway, and things like this. So we all know that that's a thing, and it's really interesting to see from her point of view, and to see her basically treating her parents and everybody else like they are basically less than her. And when she finds out that a sorcerer has captured some mortals and he's keeping them hostage and he's not killing them, she's calling him a coward in her head and things like this. And I'm just like, this isn't going to end well. Because if Winter hates humans this much, and she also doesn't like her family that much either, I don't know if they're going to be able to save her this time. And I don't know if, now that she's got the spark, if she's actually going to save humanity, or what she's going to do. I genuinely don't know. Obviously, she's a little bit friendly with Cadaver, but that's not a good thing either, because Cadaver isn't exactly a good guy either, because he is Skulduggery, and he is more morally grey, slightly towards villainous than Skulduggery, so I don't know how that's going to end, and I'm slightly worried. I say slightly worried. I'm very worried. This whole book has me worried. Put it that way. This whole book has me worried. We've just had our first pop culture reference, and this time it was Lord of the Rings, where Winter and her friends are calling a guy who is essentially not exactly stalking Winter, but is kind of like being a little bit weird about her, and he's trying to help her and this kind of thing for his own reasons. And they've started calling him Gollum, because he was like, I can be your Sam, and they were like, you're our Gollum. So very good on the pop culture references. I love that Derek Landy always puts them in. It's always fun to sort of see which ones he's putting in and which films and books and stuff that he's referencing, so absolutely love that. And also I love the fact that Skulduggery is actually still letting Valkyrie help with the investigations and things like this, just by going to the prison and essentially taking her out of her cell and letting her in on the investigation by interviewing different suspects and things like this. And we are now with a guy called Idonius anyway, and Idonius is basically saying that he is going to take out Skulduggery, and he's going to be the guy who kills Skulduggery, and he's going to outsmart him, and Skulduggery is going to be the first person he ever takes out. And I'm like, good luck with that. And they've also gone, good luck with that. But they're kind of working with him at the moment, because he's saying that he's got like ideas, and they're going to be playing a game on his terms, and Skulduggery's gone, alright then, I want a challenge. So very intrigued by this as well. I'm waiting to see what's going to happen, but love the pop culture references. Love that Skulduggery is still like involving Valkyrie in whatever way he can, but also when we see him at a crime scene earlier on, he is talking to Tanith, and he's trying to sort of like involve her as well, because he misses Valkyrie and he misses having a partner. Specifically, he misses Valkyrie and he needs someone with him, and I do think Skulduggery is someone who needs someone with him, just because they don't exactly hold him back, but it gives him something, like gives him someone to basically bounce off ideas from and things like this, and he just doesn't have that without her. So I like seeing him dealing with that, and kind of how he's coping with that, and how he's still involving Valkyrie. And also, actually as well, I'm rambling, I apologise, but and this is a complete mess of thoughts, but it always is with these vlogs, it's fine. But also I love that they've also now had a conversation where Skulduggery is blaming himself for what's happened, and that Valkyrie is now in the position she's in, basically because he pulled her out of Colorado and from her having her break from the world and this kind of thing, and Valkyrie going, I needed to be pulled out from there, and also like I was dragged back in again, it wasn't your fault, it was entirely on me, and things like this. And I really love that they've also had that conversation. But I think that was all I had to say, so I'm going to carry on reading. But those are my current rambly thoughts on the last few chapters. And now the new warden has arrived. He's called Difficult, and he's already proving difficult. He's putting Valkyrie into gem population, and that is not going to go well. I'm imagining it's going to be like when they put Bullseye in general population, or Frank Castle in general population in Daredevil, in the sense that it really did not go well for anybody involved. So I think that's probably what's going to happen. And then Derek Landy decided to add creepy clowns into the next chapter. Creepy, unkillable clowns. And I'm just like, why did you do that? I don't like clowns. I don't know anyone who does like clowns. The only clowns I like in a horror sense is the one Friendo in Clown in a Cornfield. I don't like any other clowns. So I'm just like, oh god, no. And they've just got Tanith. This is not going to end well. I keep on saying this. This is going to be my word for, or phrase for the vlog. Last year it was the word interesting. This year this year is going to be, this isn't going to end well, and I am certain this is not going to end well. Oh god, not with the clowns. Derek Landy, why with the clowns? And also, don't touch Tanith. If something happens to Tanith, I swear to god, if something happens to Tanith, I'm hoping not. I just had that thought of, what if something happens to Tanith? Hopefully not, but at the very least, don't make it to clowns. Please, for the love of God, don't make it to clowns. Valkyrie just got taken over by a clown called Coco, and now she's fine. And I think that was a really interesting way to take on the fight between Skulduggery and Chorus Wild, because we just did not see it. We just saw what was going on with Tanith being this possessed clown until she came out of it, just as Skulduggery turned back up again with Chorus. And I found that a very interesting take, because obviously it could get kind of, not samey, but obviously magic fights could end up quite similar to each other. So it was an interesting take to have it from Tanith's point of view, but Tanith as a clown, as sort of a possessed clown. That was a very interesting take on the magic to sort of make it different to usual, because after 18 books, it could probably, most likely, be quite difficult to still do like interesting magic battles. So very interested by that, very much like that. I will say I do like that we did that, and it was a very fun thing to do. So the new warden has not only transferred Valkyrie into a gen population, but he's also taken away her therapist that Ghastly gave her, that was also working on why Valkyrie's magic is changing and why it's basically like not exactly stopping working, well, it's stopping working. And he's now put her with a psychiatrist who's also in the prison as an inmate, because he's a serial killer who also created a cult. And now he's letting that guy help Valkyrie with her power problems, because the original therapist said that it's likely that Valkyrie is basically like tuning down her power and shutting it off subconsciously, because she was so powerful mentally she couldn't cope with it. Which is very Franklin Richards, to be fair. It's very Franklin Richards, but that's interesting. And now the warden's like, yeah, with the help of this other inmate psychiatrist, we'll turn your magic dampening bracelet off so you can start working on what your magic is doing and this kind of thing. I didn't see that coming. I'm very confused as to what this means and why he's doing this, because he's put Valkyrie in Gen Pop, because obviously that's a great idea and he probably wants her dead. And that's a great way to do it, is just to chuck her in Gen Pop. But now he's letting her work on her magic again. And allowing her access to her magic. Unless he's trying to frame her for something? I don't know. This is all turning very, not Daredevil-esque, but it's giving me Daredevil parallels, I won't lie. And Franklin Richards parallels. Yeah, I'm wondering where this is going now. I'm very intrigued as to where that's going as a storyline, because I did not see that coming, I will say. That was really something I didn't see coming. I've just started chapter 15, and it says, when Tanith was a child training to be an assassin, the other kids would tell stories of a mystical city in Tibet that would only appear for 1 week every 7 years. The sorcerers of that city, so the stories went, knew forms of martial arts that no one even had names for. And I'm just wondering, is that a reference to Iron Fist? Because Iron Fist and the mystical city of Kunlun only appears like every 12 years, I think it is. I think it's like 12 years. I'm admittedly not that, like, much of a fan of Iron Fist. I've read a few of the comics. I've obviously seen his show and things like this, so I know a little bit about him. I will be doing more of a deep dive when he turns back up again in Daredevil, but I'm pretty sure that's a reference to Iron Fist, or at least that idea is based on Iron Fist. I know that that's a trope anyway, but Derek Landy is a Marvel fan. He writes for Marvel, and he does like putting Marvel references into his books. So I am now wondering if that is an Iron Fist reference, or at least something based on Iron Fist, and he got the inspiration from Iron Fist. So yeah, because there hasn't been a Marvel reference so far, so that could be the first one. I'm thinking that's going to be the first one. I love seeing these scenes now where Skulduggery and Cadaver are actually like interacting with each other, because obviously they are the same person, and so seeing them interact is so much fun. And basically Tanith has gone, look, there's a contract out on Skulduggery, there's almost certainly going to be one out on Cadaver as well, so the money offer will ensure that the threat to both of them is going to keep on ratcheting up, and the best chance of getting through this is for Skulduggery and Cadaver to work together. And Skulduggery has gone, no, and Tanith has gone, if you do not agree to do this, I will tell Valkyrie. Do either of you want me to tell Valkyrie? And both of them go, no. I love that, because Valkyrie is literally in prison. Valkyrie cannot do anything apart from shout at them when they next see her, you know, and they've both just gone, we don't want to incur Valkyrie's wrath, which is absolutely fair play. I love that. And also, speaking of Valkyrie, I think something is going on with the food in the prison, because they keep on mentioning it and how the food is surprisingly good, and now there is a food shortage. And I'm like, I feel like something is going on there. I feel like Derek Landy is planting some seeds there. I don't know what of, maybe some kind of like mind control thing or something like that, because thinking about it, the person who keeps on serving Valkyrie food in the canteen keeps on smiling at her, despite the fact that everybody else in the room absolutely hates her guts, and that guy probably does as well, and he keeps on smiling at her whenever he gives her food. And I'm like, something's definitely going on there. He's weird. The fact there's no food shortage and they keep on mentioning how good the food actually is in there when there's not a food shortage is leading me to believe something is going to happen there. And just as I say that, the next chapter, Valkyrie is gone, why was there no food, or like why was the food delivery different and there was a food shortage, and has gone to go and check, and it turns out the reason why is because some of the empty containers actually had some other stuff in, which then got taken out and has now disappeared, and also some engineers' tools have also disappeared as well. So I knew there was something going on with the food, knew something was going on with, I mean, it was blatantly obvious, but I still feel proud when I'm reading a book like this and I pick up on stuff like that, because I'm not really good at mysteries and things like this. So very happy that I picked that out. I'm very glad that I was right. So someone's now also messed with the timeline, because we obviously know that there's been a couple of timeline changes over the years, just because of Valkyrie going into the future and changing things there, and also changing things in 1703, which was in the prequel book, which name I have forgotten. I'll leave it here so you can see which one I'm on about, and link the vlog actually up above, because I definitely vlogged that book as well. So there's been those two changes which we know about, and there's now also a scar on the timeline that's happened somewhere else a few years ago, like 3 years ago now, and someone changed like 18 months. And on my previous vlog, someone pointed out that someone that Valkyrie was talking to, Cadence, I think it was something beginning with C, they said that Valkyrie and her were talking about the fact they fought the faceless ones on the farm way back in like book 3, I think it was, and actually they are never mentioned in that book. So that's very interesting, because it may be that it's something to do with them, or maybe Derek Landy has just added a new character or something, I don't know. But very interesting that there's been another timeline change. I'm not exactly sure what this is going to mean, but interesting that there's been another timeline change, so we'll see how that goes. But intriguing. We've got a billionaire who wants to kidnap Skulduggery and Skulduggery and Cadaver, sorry, and turn them into basically a throne of bones for his son, who may or may not be the Antichrist, because that's the child of the devil. You've got Valkyrie, who is now in a prison in general population that's being run by a guy who is a Canaanist, or Canonist I should say, meaning that he worships this devil who wants Skulduggery and Cadaver. And now there's a timeline change, so a lot is going on. Very interesting. Still not entirely sure where this is going, I will say, because obviously we've also got everything to do with, like, Koa and also Winter, and that was an interesting reaction, thinking about it. I didn't mention that, but interesting reaction that the two of them basically instantly fell in love with each other, like that, and immediately wanted to, like, kiss each other and things like this the second they met. So that's an interesting twist that I did not see coming either. So a lot is going on. A lot of things are going on, and I still have no idea where this book is going. Like, at all. I have no idea how they're going to get Valkyrie out, how they're going to stop this billionaire guy who's, like, a Kayanist from killing Skulduggery cadaver and turning them into, like, bones, or Bone Throne. And I don't know how they're going to deal with everything to do with Winter and Koa. And also whatever Ghastly's up to. Because I should mention Ghastly as well, because Ghastly is the one who approved the Warden, like Difficult the new Warden, and so he would have known that this guy is a Kayanist, and therefore a devil worshipper, and would have wanted Valkyrie out of the way. And to be honest, Ghastly has done a few sort of shady things over the last few years, thinking about it. Ghastly has, in the last few books, done a few shady things. And now just wondering what's going on with Ghastly as well, thinking about it. I'm hoping whatever it is that Ghastly hasn't turned dark side. I don't see Ghastly physically turning dark side himself without some kind of push like he's being possessed or something, but maybe he came back wrong when Darkest rebuilt the world. Maybe he came back wrong. Maybe. Or maybe he's been possessed, or maybe it's not him at all. Now I'm worried about Ghastly. Oh, for God's sake. I'm worried about everyone in this book. Like, there is no one I think is safe in this book, so I'm now just worried about everyone being either killed, secretly possessed, or actually working on the bad guy's side. And I'm just hoping it's not going to be another Man with the Golden Eyes, like, twist again, because that killed me the first time round, and I am hoping it's not going to be something like that again. I mean, editing me is probably laughing now, because I'm probably going to find out in this one, and editing me is probably going to laugh, but I'm really hoping Ghastly's Ghastly and he's not gone evil. I'm really hoping that, because at the moment he's doing some shady stuff, and I don't know if I trust him right now with the stuff that is coming out that he has been a part of or he's known about and things like this. It's just, there's something about Ghastly now that's kind of niggling in the back of my brain, and I don't like it, so I'm hopeful that that's not happening, but we shall see. Kerr as a character is really intriguing to me, because he's obviously the son of the devil, and he's going around trying to, like, offer jobs to, like, Valkyrie and also Winter and things like this. And obviously he is evil because he's the son of the devil, but he's so normal at the same time. Like, don't get me wrong, he has just threatened to kill, like, all of Winter's friends if she doesn't kill the like, the child of the ancients, but it's like, he seemed reasonably normal to be the son of the devil, if you know what I mean. And I'm just wondering what he's up to. I'm asking a lot of questions, and I mean, I am not quite halfway, actually just over halfway, I think, at this point. Well, I've read this much, so yeah, I'm about halfway, and I've got a lot of questions, as per usual, and I'm very intrigued. I keep on saying this, but I'm very, very intrigued about what's going on right now, because there's a lot of moving parts, and it all seems to be heading towards one direction, with obviously the devil and everything else. I'm going to keep on calling him the devil, because that's just easier at the moment, but everything is heading towards that as a thing, and I'm just like, what the hell is going on? Because a lot is going on, if you know what I mean. There is, like, a lot of things going on and a lot of different plot threads, and obviously, like I said, it's all heading towards the devil, and I'm genuinely wondering how the hell they're going to get out of this one, and if, like, Winter's going to win, and how winning is going to affect her, because then she's going to have killed someone, or if she is going to kill him, or if her and Koa are going to end up teaming up together to take down the devil and the devil's son or something. Maybe that's going to happen, I don't know, but very intrigued. This has definitely got me seriously hooked, and I'm seriously, like, reading this one and going, I wonder what's going to happen next, and constantly trying to figure out what's going to happen. And I love that about these books. I'm always constantly trying to figure out what's going to happen next, why this is happening, and seeing where all the plot threads are going, everything else, and I am loving this. I am absolutely loving this so far. So let me get this straight. For context, I have just read chapter 30. And so Tanith has been told by the clown god guy, because the clowns came back, and I hate the clowns because I don't like clowns. But anyway, he's just said that when Darkest remade the world, she didn't quite have enough power to do it by herself. So she used the power, or another god called Ilum, who was more of a minor god, helped her out. And then made his own pocket universe, which is essentially hell, and he became the devil type character that we're seeing in this. And he's gaining power, and Darkest is losing power within... Is that right? Let me get the paragraph back up again. So, it says... When Darkest and Ilum remade the universe, a few stray gods that were... because that's right, there's also a few stray gods as well. So what does it say? Right. Saying that Darkest is not sentient enough to do anything about it at the moment. About, like, Ilum. Or anything else, because she's not sentient enough at the moment. And if he wins, all hell's going to break loose, quite literally. And then there's other gods as well. So he says, when Darkest and Ilum remade the universe, a few stray gods who were passing saw what was going on and thought to themselves, hey, look at that, a fresh new universe. So some of us slipped in quietly and made a home for ourselves. It's tough out there, Tanith, it really is. You got to hide from other gods. You got to hide from the things that hunt and kill gods. You wouldn't believe some of the adventures I've had just to get here. But now I'm safe and I'm warm and I'm happy and I like the world the way it is. Darkest didn't get her own way, not entirely, and Ilum hasn't yet taken over, so there's plenty of room for the rest of us. So the other gods don't want to, like, have Ilum take over, or the devil I should say, and instead they're warning Tanith so she can warn everyone else, so they can potentially help Darkest. But Darkest isn't conscious enough. But, hello, wait a minute, it's something's just fallen in here. I've just had a brainwave. So, we've got the whole battle between the Child of the Ancients, Child of the Faceless Ones, which is obviously Winter and Kawakawa. And what if they're going to have to team up together, because neither of them want to kill each other, to try and defeat the devil and, it's like, slash Ilum instead, because Darkest can't do it. Because Valkyrie can't really do it either at the moment because she's in prison, but at the same time she's sort of learning more and more about the timeline and the scars within the timeline and things like this, and she's working on honing her powers again and her magic again. Very interesting. It's very intriguing. So I think that's what's going to happen. That is my current thought anyway. That it's going to turn out that Winter and Kawakawa are going to use their powers together that they're meant to use to fight each other, to fight off the devil. That's what I think is going to happen. This series has seriously gone so much further than I thought it would, because when it first started, they were just dealing with, like, Baron Vengeance and Serpine and things like this, and now we're dealing with the devil and having to stop the devil. But this series has come so far since it first started 18 years ago. 18 books ago anyway, but at the moment I'm just wondering if they are going to defeat the devil in this one, where else can they go? I mean, Gog Magog is a thing, but is that going to be in this book? I'm doubting it at the moment because he hasn't been mentioned. But if they're going to deal with the gods and everything else, and then the gods are going to be dealt with apart from maybe Gog Magog, is this going to be the final one? I mean, I'm really hoping it isn't. Don't get me wrong, I'm really hoping that it isn't. But that's very, very intriguing. And I'm slightly worried, because obviously I don't want it to end. I keep on saying that, but it feels like this may be not wrapping up the then again, these books do work in trilogies. Even though there's an overarching storyline over like 8-9 books, they usually work in trilogies. And this is the last one in this specific trilogy, so There's probably more. I'm on a level of cope right now because if this ends, I don't know what I'm going to do with myself, but they seem to be going more into the gods. Obviously, we haven't heard about Gog Magog yet. Skulduggery hasn't mentioned in a while yet that his dad is literally Gog Magog, but that surely got to come into it at some point, but very interesting. And also, that's what I was going to say as well. I keep on making a point and then go, oh yeah, and then this bit as well. Ghastly has just also been talking about the fact that he is hiding so many secrets from everybody, and there's a reason why he's doing things, and the reason why he's having to like hide things and stuff like this, which is all fair and good. But at the same time, I'm still not trusting him. I've just had that seed of thought in my brain of, what if we can't trust him? You know, like, it's Ghastly, you automatically trust him. But this is Derek Landy we're on about here, and Derek Landy loves to like throw plot twists in. I mean, look at last year who Gestalt was and things like this. He loves to throw in these types of things. I mean, look at the Golden Eye Man, you know, and everything that happened with the Dead Man. You trusted them implicitly, and then it turned out and it all went wrong from there. So maybe that's happening again, but this time with Ghastly? I don't know. I don't trust him. I should trust him because he's Ghastly, but I really don't trust him right now. And I'm just wondering if this is going to be like another Yellow-Eyed Man thing, or if Ghastly has a reason for why he's doing these things, and I'm just doubting him because I'm an idiot. And it could just be that I am doubting him because I'm an idiot, and I've just gone completely down the wrong path and the wrong theory. That is entirely possible, but now I'm just like, what if it is that? What if that's what's going on? And Ghastly is going down a dark path. Don't get me wrong, I'm hoping that all of this is for a reason, and he's doing stuff like with this difficult guy and everything else for a reason, but I don't know. I have theories, and so many of my theories have been wrong about this series, but we'll see. We'll see. I've obviously got another like 211 pages left. I'm not finishing that today, but we shall see how this all goes. But I am certainly intrigued. I have a lot of theories, and I'm hoping I'm wrong on all of them. So Winter and Koa have just basically met up with each other again, and they've decided that they don't want to fight each other. And this is a really interesting take on this Chosen One idea, because obviously both of them are the Chosen One, and both of them have been told they've got to fight to the death in like in the future, and it's now actually only 8 days away according to the sensitives. And they're now like, yeah, we don't want to fight each other because we quite like each other actually, and it's probably the magic making them like each other, and they're fully aware of this, but they're like, we don't really want to fight each other, we don't want to kill each other. And everyone around them is basically going, yeah, you're going to have to fight to the death, and they're not really sort of caring much about the fact that these are two 17-year-olds who are going to have to literally fight to the death, and one of them is going to have to kill the other one. And so many people are supporting Koa, and they're like giving him all of the information he needs and everything else, and Winter is being kind of left in the darkness with it all, and he's having to tell her stuff because no one actually wants her to win. And I find this such an interesting take, that you've got someone who is so powerful but doesn't actually want to hurt the other person, even though they've got like a lot of reasons for it. They have spent a lot of time hating humanity and hating generally everyone, to be honest. And I find it very interesting that Winter's like, no, I don't actually want to hurt you, and that Koa, who has been raised for this, is going, no, I don't want to hurt you either. And I find that very interesting, because we don't usually see chosen ones who are like, no, I don't want to do this. The adults around us are insane for wanting this and aren't caring about the fact that we don't want to do this. They're like, oh, it's destiny, you gotta do it. And I find this very, very interesting as a take. And also, as well, the fact that you've now had Alter go after them and try to kill them as a distraction, but while they attack Coldheart, and it turns out he's behind all of this. Very interesting, very intriguing, because I know I didn't trust him. And thinking about it, I'm starting to wonder, do I trust Koa? Because I want to trust Koa, but I'm doing that thing now where I'm just distrusting everybody. But I'm saying all of this about Koa doesn't want to hurt Winter and everything else, and now I've just gone, what if he actually does? What if he's just pretending and he's manipulating her or something? I'm hoping not, because I'm hoping the two of them team up together to take down first of all altar and then also the devil. I'm really hoping that that is what they're going to do, because I feel like that would be a really good way to basically deal with this chosen one thing and all of this energy and everything else, because they're going to need that level of energy to deal with the devil. But that's what I'm hoping is going to happen. But what's more likely to happen, because this is Derek Landy, Koa is going to turn out to be evil. He's going to try and kill Winter. Winter's going to have to kill him instead. Something like that will happen, because it's Derek Landy and stuff like this always happens, and there's always a plot twist. So I'm just waiting for the plot twist now, because it's coming. I mean, I've still got about half the book left, so I'm not quite near the plot twist bit yet, like the traditional plot twist bit, but I'm expecting it, and currently my money's either on Koa actually being evil and is manipulating Winter, or Ghastly is behind something and Ghastly's got something on as well. I'm hoping I'm wrong on both, but we'll see. How many times have I said that in this vlog as well? I apologise for my constant, like, repeating of phrases, but I've got nothing else. This book is blowing my mind and taking over all of my language like abilities at the moment, so I cannot form thoughts further than usual phrases that I keep on repeating, so apologies for that. I'm going to carry on reading and wait for it to blow my mind again. Excuse me, what now? I've just got on to chapter 37, just finished it. What? Just, they fought further, they destroyed the Ark. Valkyrie's obviously managed to escape from Cold Heart and everything else, because she managed to, like, stop the bomb from happening so the place didn't explode and kill a whole bunch of people. And then she managed to get to Skulduggery and everything. They've managed to get to Hellfire, they've destroyed the Ark, and then he's just shot at Melitza Further's just shot at Melitza. Valkyrie's jumped in the way and has just died, or at least it says Valkyrie died alone. That is dead. Swear to God, if Valkyrie is dead, I swear to God, Derek Landy, if Valkyrie is dead, there will be, I will not be responsible for my actions. That's all I've got, is I will not be responsible for my actions if Valkyrie Kane is dead. This will be worse than when Fletcher and Ghastly and everybody else went. This is not happening. This is not happening, and I don't have that much time to read anymore for the rest of the day. This is not good, but she better not be dead. She better not be dead. I knew Ghastly was compromised. I knew it. I've been thinking this for years. I knew it. Now, it's going to be whether or not he's been compromised in the sense that he's being blackmailed into something, or he's willingly working for someone, or he's been taken over or like possessed or something. Either way, whatever happened in July 3 years ago changed Ghastly, and ever since then he's been working with Hellfire and everybody else around there, and that has led to Valkyrie's death. And if it turns out he actually was part of this and it led to Valkyrie's death, as Skulduggery said, he will kill him, and I have got no doubt in my mind he will kill him, because Valkyrie's his best friend. He loves Valkyrie like a sister, like a daughter. And if he's lost her because of Ghastly, I don't think the friendship's ever going to recover anyway, but Ghastly's dead. And if he is behind all of this, and he's done this willingly, I will be quite happy to let Ghastly die, quite frankly, because absolutely not. Just, I am reeling. I've got no words further than I am currently reeling from all of this. And I genuinely think if it wasn't for Chorus Wild and everything else going on, Skulduggery would have, like, absolutely gone, like, wild at this point. Like, I've got no doubt that Skulduggery would be on the warpath right now. Like, he's on the warpath anyway, but he'd be on a worse warpath. And I think Tanith is going to let him, because obviously Tanith loved Valkyrie like a sister as well. And obviously Winter is starting to realise how much she loved Valkyrie as well. And she's not surging, but she's getting all of her powers coming in for the reckoning. Ghastly may be in trouble. Whoever's behind all of this is in trouble. And now I've only got time for like one more chapter, and then I've got to put this down for the day, and I don't quite know if I can manage that. But I literally cannot read for the rest of the day. I've got other stuff to do, but I can pick this up tomorrow, it's fine, but if it gets to the end of this chapter and there's no hint of Valkyrie being still alive somehow, there's going to be problems. Derek Landy, you are evil. That is all I've got, and I mean this as the biggest compliment, but Derek Landy, you are evil genius. And it better be genius in the sense that Valkyrie is still alive. But at the very least, evil. Absolutely evil. Skulduggery and Tanith talking about Valkyrie. Oh, my heart. I can't take this, I'm gonna cry. I'm just genuinely lump in my throat, gonna cry, and I don't know if I'm in focus right now, which is probably a good thing, because I'm not okay. Genuinely, I'm not okay right now, so this is hearing them reminisce and everything else, and knowing that Skulduggery is now just like, I'm gonna go after Chorus Wild during her funeral. She's not gonna care she's dead. He's emotionally shutting himself off now, and that's never gonna end well. I mean, it was bad enough when the guy at Into Doom tried to say that he's lost his pet and he nearly killed him. If Skulduggery is now shutting down, it's not gonna end well. It's not gonna end well for anybody, and I'm just sitting here going, I'm not okay. I'm not okay at all, and now I have to wait until tomorrow to finish this. And if I get to the end of this book and Valkyrie is not somehow alive, this ain't gonna end well for anybody. I'm just gonna cry. I'm just gonna cry. I've never cried over a book, like fully cried, but if I've lost a character I've been following since I was 11 years old, it's gonna be like losing Wolverine, Natasha Romanoff, and also Tony Stark all over again. That's what it's going to feel like to me. So this is, I'm not okay. I'm going to go put the book down. I'm going to go watch something happy for the rest of the evening, and I will come back to this tomorrow and hope to God it's all fine. That's my plan, but I hope she's alive. I hope somehow they can bring her back. I mean, at the very least, Winter's got a whole ton of power. Maybe she can do it? Probably not. Maybe the Dark S energy or something? I don't know, just bring her back, Derek Landy, please. I'm begging, please. She can't go out like that. She cannot go out like that. But I'm not thinking about it anymore. Otherwise I'm going to cry. I'm just going to leave this now for the rest of the day, and I will come back tomorrow and hope to God I don't need tissues, put it that way. It's now the next day. I have this much left, which is about 114 pages, and I am very scared. Like, I am truly scared of what is about to happen in case Valkyrie remains dead, because I'm not ready for that. I've been ruminating on this all night, and I'm just like, don't do it. Just don't leave her dead. Just bring her back. I don't care how. Just bring her back. Then again, knowing Derek Landy, it could be a zombie situation. I don't want that. I want her back, and I want her healthy and everything else. But I am scared. I'm hoping that the big magic battle with Winter and Koa is going to end in them basically taking down the devil or whatever else and fighting him because they've got all this power and all of this magic. And I'm hoping that Valkyrie is still alive. That's all I've got. That's all I've got. In terms of Ghastly, it's going to depend, obviously, on whether or not he was in full knowledge that all of this was going to happen and that Valkyrie was in danger and everything else. Because if he was possessed or like mind control or something, then fair enough, I will not exactly let it slide, but I will be more understanding. Whereas if he is fully in control of his actions, then he's getting what's coming to him thanks to Skulduggery. But we will see. Either way, I'm scared. I'm literally wearing as well my Skulduggery t-shirt for potentially the last time. Well, not the last time, I'll still wear it, but this may be the last time I get to wear it while the series is still ongoing, because obviously at the moment we don't know if there's going to be another book, and so I thought I'd wear it one last time while the series is, that I know is still sort of, there's still more for me to read, but I'm now just rambling to not carry on reading because I'm that scared. I'm going to shut up, I'm going to open the book and I'm going to read it, but I am scared. I am genuinely terrified right now. There is no other way to describe this apart from genuinely terrified of what's about to happen in the next 115 pages. So let's bite the bullet and see what happens. And the first chapter I read, which was chapter 44, is the night before the funeral, and Skulduggery has just spoken to Winter, and Winter's saying that there's got to be more than hate, and just hating the man who did it and the man who killed her. And Skulduggery's gone, there is, but right now hate is all I'm running on. And yeah, when Skulduggery catches up to him, that guy's dead. Like, even if Valkyrie somehow comes back, then again, I've just had a thought, but what I was going to say first though was, even if Valkyrie comes back, that guy is dead. Like, that guy is dead meat. Like, there's no way around it. Along with the, like, Satan's son and everything else, they're all dead, you know. Skulduggery is going to go full out on them. There is no stopping it. But I've just had a thought. Winter is having this massive surge of power, so is Child of the Faceless Ones, Child of the Ancient Ones, massive amounts of power. What if they use that to bring Valkyrie back? Because they could have that much power. I don't know, obviously. We've not really seen... Well, Skulduggery resurrected himself, and the sheer power of revenge that he wanted kind of resurrected him to be Skulduggery. So, I mean, there's that. So, there is some kind of prescient for people coming back. So, maybe that's going to happen. I hope so. I'm basically just coming up with various different ways that Valkyrie could come back. So, I'm very much... in denial. That's the only way I can describe it. I am in denial. I am very much in denial because, for context, I've been following this character since I was 11 years old. I've grown up alongside Valkyrie. And I don't want to lose her. Quite frankly, I don't want to lose her. I don't want to lose the series. And so I'm now coming up with literally any way that she could potentially come back. I'm probably going to be wrong on every single front, and Derek Landy will come up with something else if he is going to bring her back. But I'm just desperately coming up with theories. I really am. I'm desperately coming up with any theory I can, and I am hoping one of them is going to be right. I was right about Ghastly. Give me something else. Come on, just give me something else, please, because I need hope here. I need hope that she's going to be back somehow. I don't care how, as long as she's alive and she is happy and she's not a zombie or a vampire or anything else like that. As long as she's alive and fleshy, I should say as well. I don't want her to be a skeleton like Skulduggery, though. I don't think Valkyrie would mind that too much, though. I think she would mourn the fact that people aren't going to be looking at how cool her arm muscles are, you know, so I don't know. She could become a skeleton as well. I wouldn't mind that. She'd be alive. There's that. I'm at bargaining. I'm actually at the stage of grief that is bargaining. I'm going to carry on reading because I'm going to come up with too many theories, and I need to know if any of them are going to be correct, and I just need to know if she's going to be alive by the end of this. And the monster hunters have turned up alongside Dexter Vex. Oh no. Oh god. But one thing that has brought a smile to my face, I will say, is that when they point out Dexter Vex, Winter goes, "Oh my stars and garters," and that is a reference to Beast from the X-Men. He always says, "Oh my stars and garters," so that's just put a little smile on my face, but no. I'm smiling through the pain. I'm smiling and making jokes through the pain. I've never had this happen to me in a book series. Don't get me wrong, I've had this happen to me several times in movies. I mean, I've lost Tony, I've lost Natasha and people like this, but this never well, this is like my Logan all over again, because I obviously grew up with Logan and then he died in Logan, but this is the first time this has ever happened to me with a book series, so this is like with a character I really care about. I've had books before where main characters have died and I've sort of gone, oh, that's really sad, but this one is hitting me like a ton of bricks. Why has Omen turned up? Oh god. Omen just turned up. There's this massive like moment between Carol and Crystal and they're trying to make it up and everything else, and then Omen turned up and I nearly started crying. Derek Landy, what have you done to me? I am not a book crier and now there are tears in my eyes. Just because Omen turned up. Oh my god. I'm going to need tissues by the end of this, I swear. I'm crying. I'm laughing, otherwise I'm going to start crying. This is ridiculous. This is a book series. But it's a book series I've been reading for 19 years. Breathe. having to remember to breathe through this. If she's still dead by the end of this, I swear to God, I will set Gog Magog on Derek Landy. This is painful. This is physically painful in the best way, don't get me wrong, but this is painful. Clarabelle, Scapegrace and Thrasher too, oh God. You know what this is reminding me of? This is reminding me of when the Doctor regenerates and all of his companions turn back up again before that happens. Oh God, this is feeling more and more like the final ever book. And I am not ready for that. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna be fine. I'm gonna turn the camera off before anything happens and I embarrass myself, but seeing them as well, oh God, this is like a regeneration of the Doctor. Only this time there's not gonna be someone else standing there, and there may not be any more stories. I'm not okay. I'm not okay. If in the next few clips I have really red eyes, you'll know why. I've cried my eyes out. This is not happening to me. I'm not emotionally ready for this. So Ghastly remembers a timeline that basically went wrong. Valkyrie died 3 years earlier. Billions died. Skulduggery was on a rampage and everything else. And he made a deal with Vara Kahan, aka the Devil. I'm just going to keep on calling him the Devil. And he made a deal with him to reset the timeline, and so those 18 months didn't exist, and they were put into a casket, and now that casket is cracking because Skulduggery has found it. And basically anybody else outside of Ghastly who knows about it will crack the casket, and then it all goes wrong. So now everyone is now trying to find the second arc so they can stop everything going on and everything else with like Kerr and the Devil's Son and the Devil and everything else. Meanwhile, Koa's friends have beaten the living daylights out of him and are now going to try and kill Winter. Jesus Christ! This is all... I've literally got 65 pages left. How is he going to wrap this up in 65 pages? I'm hoping that this means that there's going to be another book, because he can't wrap it all up, but we'll see. It's all going wrong. Valkyrie's back. I'm happy. Is this a second timeline Valkyrie? Is this a variant thing? Is this a variant thing? And it turns out that this is the second timeline version, but that version also died. Like 3 years ago. What the... But she's just coming to save Winter. What? She's alive. She's alive. Thank God. But how? How? I'm excited, don't get me wrong, but how the hell is she there? Because she's wearing the metal skull on her hip and everything else. Like she was buried in. But they didn't cremate her. They didn't cremate her. They didn't cremate her. Maybe she's also got the power of the faceless ones, because obviously all of that business. Maybe that's how. Maybe she was just asleep for a while, like coma based. Maybe. Because they didn't cremate her, they buried her. They made a point of saying that they weren't going to cremate her, they were going to bury her. I'm going to find out in a minute, but she's alive, thank God she's alive. Thank God for that. Oh my God. Oh my God, I was scared. I was so scared. I was so emotional during that, you saw, but she's alive. She's alive. Thank God she's alive. So Dark S changed Valkyrie and she's now immortal. I mean, badass, but I admit I wasn't seeing that option coming, to be honest. So the coffin they buried was completely empty. And she woke up in the High Sanctuary. Did Skulduggery know? He was remarkably calm, to be fair. But then... I'm speechless. I'm actually speechless. That bit just... I didn't see that coming. I was thinking maybe Winter was going to bring her back using the powers, and instead she's just been fighting for her life, and Valkyrie's come along and has gone, oh, by the way, I'm alive again. I'm basically immortal. And now she's trying to help, and now she's had to go off to go help Skulduggery and Tanith. And everybody else go fight the literal son of the devil. books are insane. These books are insane. When I picked this up, that's not where I saw this going. When it got to the funeral, that was not where I saw this going. I was hoping Valkyrie was going to be alive, but that's not how I expected this to happen. I can't wait for Skulduggery's reaction. He's either going to play it completely cool, and then at the end, he's going to, like, hug her or something. I can't wait for Tanith's reaction as well. Tanith's reaction is going to be great. Everyone's reaction is going to be great. Oh, I'm so excited. I've got like 65 pages left, so I'm just going to blast through them hopefully and tell you what I think at the end. But either way, she's alive, she's alive, she's alive, she's alive. Yes, I knew it. I just did not see how it was going to happen. And I did not predict that that was how it was going to happen. But oh, I'm so excited that she's alive. Ghastly knew that she was still alive. He knew that she was immortal. Okay, I semi-forgive him. I don't really. I semi-forgive him. He's going to have to go a long way for me to forgive him, but that's why he Ghastly ordered that she only had magic on her, not embalming, so because he knew that she'd come back. Oh, and then the reaction from Skulduggery. Oh, the whole conversation. I can't read it out loud. I'll put like a screenshot here so you can read it, because there's no way I'm going to get through that without tearing up and crying, but I love it. I love it. I'm so emotional. This is the most emotional I've ever been in a book. This is worse than Until the End. I'm so emotional. So we've just had the final big battle and everything else, and we've just cut to basically a week later, and Winter is back in school again, and she's turned out that she actually had her surge during that big final battle, and what ended up happening is that she's now a sensitive, and basically her best friend Mia is going, "You're the least sensitive person ever," and Winter's going, "No, I'm not," and then Winter's saying, "Don't you remember when we read that book where everybody could hear each other's voices, and I bawled my eyes out at one bit, at the bit with the dog, and then you read it and you got to that bit and I was watching you and you turned the page and kept reading and I was like, did you miss the bit about the dog?" That's literally chaos walking. He's talking about chaos walking there in this book, and to me that is quite significant, because the last time I was with the Dead Famous read-along people, we all did a live stream together because we did a chaos walking read-along together as well, so that's a really fun little sort of like full circle moment, because we all met reading the Skulduggery books and then went on to do the Chaos Walking read along, and now it's just been mentioned in the book. Like in a Skulduggery book. That's bonkers. I did not see that coming as a reference, but I love it. And then also they go on to talk about like Star Trek as well, so brilliant fun. But I love the fact that Chaos Walking was just mentioned in this after I did a live stream with the Dead Famous read-along people and did a Chaos Walking read-along. That is amazing. I just finished it and oh my god, that was such a good ending. That was an incredible ending. So Valkyrie's now immortal and she's now facing that down, and she's had a bit of a breakdown over it, but she's now basically going, well, what's going to matter now, because everyone she loves is going to die eventually, and she's going to outlive the human race and things like this, so she's got that to worry about. But she's also still with Skulduggery. They've quit being arbiters and they're going to be working by themselves now. They're not working for the Sanctuary anymore, and I'm really glad that they actually did a final scene there where they explained to Ghastly all of the problems that they were having with being arbiters and everything Ghastly had done and everything else to do with like Inter Doom and all the rest of it, because I will say some of that did confuse me a little bit, and so I'm really glad we had those final chapter with the two of them and Ghastly explaining it all and explaining how Cadaver was involved and everything else. I'm really glad that that was all in there. So happy with all of that, because that just explained a lot. And now Valkyrie is just proposed. She's going to get married to Melissa, and I love that. I love that she said that. She's gone, look, nothing really matters apart from what we do now, and I want my eternity with you, as much of an eternity as we can have. And I love that so much. I love that she's going to get married to Melissa. I love that this still has left it open. because there's still a lot to talk about. Obviously there's more things to be getting on with. They've still got Cadaver, it's still out and about. The gods are still around as well, because there's still a lot of gods. We've still got the devil to deal with, because he's still about. He's still got plans for Valkyrie and all of that kind of thing. We've got the new sensitive who's going to be looking after and teaching Winter. We don't know who that is yet, and all of this kind of thing. And I feel like the way they were talking, that's going to be in here. And also the fact that China is now young again as well. I feel like this book kind of reset things a little bit. Like, don't get me wrong, things are still vastly different. Obviously Valkyrie is now immortal, you've got Cadaver still running around, and then also you've got the fact that Ghastly is now not to really be trusted anymore, and the sanctuaries, to be honest, the sanctuaries have never been really to be trusted, but it's sort of like left it at a status quo again, while also sort of moving things along. And I love that. I love this book. This had me going. As you saw, I nearly cried like 3 times in this. I was doing really, really well. And then Omen turned up. And then Dexter Vex. And the rest of the Monster Hunters. And then like Scapegrace and Thrasher and Clara Bell. And I nearly cried. And then obviously that reunion scene between Skulduggery and Valkyrie as well. That was beautiful. I loved that. That's exactly how I wanted that to happen. That was so emotional and nearly made me cry there. And this whole thing was just beautifully done. It had me going. I genuinely thought it was going to be the final book, and now I'm thinking it's probably not, just because we've got a few things going on here. There's a few bits that still need resolving or talking about. We've still got obviously the whole Gog Magog thing as well, so there's that's going on. They haven't actually mentioned that in a while, but the way they're still talking about the gods and the fact that the gods are still around and there's still gods that are sort of looking in on things, and the devil hasn't been defeated or anything else. And obviously we've got the fallout from the, well, to be fair, actually, neither Winter or Kawakawa won. So there's got to be a fallout from that as well. And everything else. Well, there may not be a fallout from that, but we'll see anyway. But there's a few bits that he's left open, so I do think there's going to be more. And this was incredible. That's all I've got. This was incredible. 5 stars. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Don't get me wrong. Derek Landy, I still think is evil, but he is an evil genius, and I love that for him, and I love that for me. But I haven't had a book put me through the ringer like this in a while, and I commend him for that so much. I'm biased anyway because I adore this series, but this one, this was incredible. And if this has to be the final book, if there isn't going to be any more about Skulduggery and Valkyrie, then I'm quite happy with how this ended. I would still love more, and I still think there will be more, because I feel like there is more story with Skulduggery and Valkyrie, and with Winter actually, and everybody else in this. So even if it goes into like somebody else and Skulduggery and Valkyrie just maybe like cameo on occasion or something, I would be happy with that. But if this is the end of Skulduggery and Valkyrie, which I don't think it is, I'm pretty happy with it. Obviously I want them to continue, but I'm really happy with how this book ended. I'm really happy with all of this book, actually. I'm so glad that I'm glad that I was right about Ghastly, in the sense that I finally got a theory right, but I'm not happy with Ghastly at the same time. I'm still side-eyeing him, admittedly, but I still love that storyline. I'm so glad I got that right, because all of my theories about Skulduggery so far have been wrong, and this was just incredible. That's all I've got. It's absolutely incredible. And now it is 20 to 8 in the evening, and I'm going to have to stop reading this now. Well, I've finished it anyway, but I'm going to have to finish off this vlog because I have other things to do. So I hope you enjoyed this video and going on this ride with me. If you did, please do give me a thumbs up. Comment down below, tell me if you got really emotional reading this like I did, or if you don't have that much time, leave me a skull emoji down below to let me know that you were here. I'll also leave a link as well down below to all of my social media if you want to check it out, or if you just want to see any more of my videos where I'm hopefully going to be vlogging more Skulduggery books, please click subscribe here, and over here will be the link to my previous video. But until next time everyone, bye!